Yeah. Yeah. No, no. No. And then he did what? 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 That told him. Yeah. And then what happened? He never.
Ah, morning.
Yes.
Have you got the disease?
No.
Has it hurt again, darling?
No. No.
But doesn't it? Ah. Oh, there. There.
No, no. Look.
Nothing.
Hello? Hello?
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Nur Hidayah.
Hi, my name is Nurul Farah Ashikin.
Explain about the strategy problem solving. So, from the series that we see in here, the first strategy is a brainstorming. So we are brainstorming the situation, which is we can see the situation from the story is about the worker or the cashier from the shop is not treating the customer in well. So for example, the cashier from the shop does not smile at the customer and ignoring the customer by talking to the phone with her friends. So we can see that the customer feels irritating and feels unsatisfied with the behavior of the customer and of the cashier. And finally, the customer lose patience and left the shop without taking anything from the shop. So, as we can see, the mind mapping here is the first one. We need to identify the problem from the situation. So, as we can see in here is the problem from the situation is the worker who is not treating the customer in well. So, for the solution in this problem is we need to giving a punishment and discipline the behavior of the worker. And we can see the behavior of the worker is a negative because the worker is not treating the customer in well and does not giving a good customer service to the customer. And as we can see, the punishment that we can give is we can cut the salary of the payment of the work. We can cut the salary of the payment from the worker, or we can give a suspended work. We can give a suspended work without giving any payment, or we can cut the allowance of the worker without left anything else. So for the solution from the situation above, as we can see, is the first one, the worker is not treating the customer in well and make the customer feels irritating and not satisfied with the service. For example, as we can see from the series, that the worker does not smile with the customer, and she is doing something else beyond the working hours, such as call her friends when the customer reach the shop, and she is also don't give a customer any guidance to find the things that the customer wants. So for the solution for the situation is the first one, we need to give a suspended work. The owner from the shop need to give a suspended work without any payment for the workers. The second one, the owner of the shop need to deduct the salary or the payment of the worker. And the third one, the owner of the shop need to install a CCTV at the shop for the safety movement, and for the monitor the movement of the worker, and for the safety issue and environment. So I will explain about the barriers to problem and decision making involved. So for the first barrier, as we can see, is a resistance to change. For example, the worker does not want to change their attitude. And for example, if the owner of the shop change the rules and the regulation of the shop, the worker might be not making any improvement or follow the rules and regulation because the worker is refused to change. And the second one is habit. Habit is someone attitude from the person, and it can be either positive or negative. As you can see from the situation above, the habit of the worker from the series is a negative. The attitude is negative because the worker is not giving a nice service to the customer, and the worker does not and the worker is having a problem with a bad habit, which is the worker is not trying to treat the customer in nicely. And the second one and the third one is the past history. Past history is afraid of using the sack method. For example, in this situation, if the owner of the shop are afraid to using the same method of punishment from the previous problem, it will lead to the big problem of barriers. And the last one is perception. Perception are the ways that we see things based on our experience. For example, if the owner of the shop want to change the workers or want to change the habits of the workers, they need to take others' perception and they need to take others' opinion of punishment. If the worker of the shop refuse to take any punishment from the others, the worker of the shop will having a problem to change their workers, because the owner of the shop is only see their own perception and will not take other perception from anyone.
I would like to explain my part, which is what is customer expectation in the movie scene. As we know that the customer, when we meet what their expectation. So from the Mr. Bean cartoon series, we can see that the customer expect that the staff will treat him nicely, but he end up with terrible service. The staff should treat him friendly and hear what he want. Your expression is the most important part when you communicate with the customer. Their satisfaction depends on how we react when we deal with them. But not least, from the scene, we can see that the customer actually will think that we will solve the problem. This is because from the scene, the customer actually has been looking a cup and also bring a piece of the cup. But the staff keep saying that the cup is not viable, even though the customer keep looking at the catalog and it's in the catalog, but the staff still say it's not viable. In this situation, the staff should try and find out on behalf of the customer. It's impossible that the cup has not placed on the sheet for sale as the workers look lazy. She should at least put some effort, because until the customer satisfied with that. If the customer dissatisfied with the service, negatively impact to that company or that business. So it's important that to know what the customer want. So lastly, in conclusion, from all the discussion to solve the problem, the store need to change their strategy to attract back the customer. They should improve first their service. So firstly, the company need to get what the customer feedback to the service. They also can get the feedback on the media social by click account any type of application in the media social. This because not every customer will show that they're dissatisfied in front of us. Other than that, the customer should set another punishment to the staff, as we know that the staff, they have to face the staff that have bad behavior. The customer also can provide training to the staff, for they know the basic how to serve the customer. The customer also can improve the service by getting information who is actually the customer. Meaning by that, what their customer group in, for example, average of the age and so on. So next, last but not least, the customer also love to get some love to have benefit. For example, the company provide free goodie when the customer buy their product. It's really, this service is rarely used, but if you use, that will give impact to the customer and make them must to share that they get the best service from your company. So that's all from our presentation. Thank you, madam, to watch this video presentation. And my name is Nurul Farah Ashikin, and my partner is Siti Nur Hidayah binti Muhammad. So thank you.